you guys ever write with visuals in mind? I mean, the optimizer with this record, and I assume that's what's going on stage behind you guys, is it?
Well, it's the same
kind of
same type, but the stuff behind us is being done live while we play.
Oh, okay.
So it's kind of performing along with us.
That's cool. Do you write with those kind of visuals in mind?
Not those kind, but we do kind of.
Or maybe with the optimizer that comes with the record.
We write. A lot of times we'll write songs and have ideas for videos or kind of like visual cues that we tag on to different parts of the songs. But yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of for us important to come up with a good visual side of a new song if we want to present it to people.
How did the optimizer come along?
We wanted to show off Alejandro, who does our live visuals. We wanted to show off his work and kind of demonstrate to people what they would get if they came to see us play the show. And also, we were kind of concerned that the way that a lot of people experience new music for the first time right now is, maybe not ideal, like kind of on crappy laptop speakers and distracted by, browsing the internet or something like that. And so we thought that to create this whole environment to go into and experience the album in its entirety would be really cool.
You guys play with what, like 6 people on stage?
Yeah.
It's just the two of you in a room together writing the songs? You guys go off separately and then come and mold stuff together? How does that work?
We do both, yeah. And this last record was just the two of us. And we worked pretty closely with Dave Fridman, who was the co-producer, and we've worked with him before. So yeah, it was a lot of different kind of approaches and methods of writing. But one of the biggest ones for the new record was just doing improvisation.
What do you mean?
We would kind of surround ourselves with keyboards and drum machines and guitars and drums and everything. Just kind of like fantasy dream jam zone, and then try to just create musical worlds. And
what's one of the songs that came from one of those?
A Good Sadness is probably the best example of that, yeah.
Oh, the alarm bell at the end, it freaked out my dog. There's an alarm going off. My dog started going nuts this morning. He's like, what the hell's going on?
What song?
In A Good Sadness.
Oh, the thing, like that pulse sound.
That thing, yeah.
Yeah. Time to Pretend, we just heard, was played over the speakers. I thought you guys were sound checking, you weren't, turns out. But you said it makes you sad when you play it live.
I did?
Yeah.
I don't know, I've said it a lot.
It's okay.
I mean, at times it makes me sad. Not like sad to be playing it, but just, more of a nostalgic kind of thing. Because it's one of the first songs we wrote, and kind of, it just takes me back to college and thinking about when we first signed to a record label and stuff like that.
Do you have any songs like that hit you emotionally when you're playing them on stage?
I think that one really does for me. There's a lot in the song about being homesick, and that's a really, very real experience for us when we're on the road sometimes. We love playing the song live, and it's not like a negative experience for me, but it's also it is nostalgic.
Where do those massive hits sit in a set? But now that you have these 3 records, and I guess it's the end of the road, so you probably figured out a good place to put all these new songs. How do you figure that out?
We've been touring since, this year we've been touring pretty solidly since May. So by now we've gotten to a point where we kind of have a set that works pretty well. It does change every night, but the basic structure of it is pretty standardized or something. And we play Time to Pretend earlier. We kind of play a lot of times we'll play the first songs of the album, of all 3 albums early, but not not all the time. But I don't know, we've found a way to kind of weave in the hit songs and also Siberian Breaks, and kind of like have little interludes, and it kind of flows pretty well at this point.
Talking about flow and crafting a record like this, does Alien Days, when you start a record with a song, there's a reason a record starts with a song, I would think. Does a show need to start with the same song too?
We actually end the show with Alien Days a lot too. I think when we were writing for the album, we always kind of had that song pegged as the first song, and An Orphan of Fortune always seemed like a good closing song to us. I think we kind of share a certain intuition when it comes to that stuff. Like we don't really know why we feel that way, but yeah. Did
turning 30 change something in each of you?
I mean, I don't think there's like an overnight change or anything, but yeah, I think we've grown and learned a lot in the past few years since our second album, and I think that's kind of reflected in some of the themes and kind of emotions on the new album.
Very vague question, which are what? The themes and
There's
emotions?
a pretty large spectrum of emotions. Generally speaking, I think it's a little bit less kind of melancholic or like kind of paranoid or closed off than the second record, and maybe
why
a
would
little
that
bit
be?
more like experienced and less kind of naive than the first or something.
Does the closed off, where does that come from, the closed off and paranoid? How did you escape that?
A big part of it was taking some time off from playing music and touring and kind of getting involved in other projects, or just not feeling as much pressure.
Did it become too much? Like, did it get too big too fast or something?
I don't really know what what standards there are or should be for that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it felt like a lot to take in for us because it was all very new and it happened really quickly. So I think the second album, a lot of it was about what we'd experienced touring and kind of trying to come to terms with what it meant to be someone who dedicates their life to playing music. I think we raised a lot of questions. We answered some of them, not most of them. But I think this album, we kind of took a step back and figured out how to not overanalyze things and just kind of get deeply involved with the process without second guessing ourselves too much. And we had a lot more fun.
More fun?
Yeah.
What led to that?
Maybe because we're 30 now, but we feel...
Thanks for bringing that full circle. I appreciate that.
We feel a little more confident in the studio and just not like we have to prove something, which I think early on, getting signed to a major label and, we felt, some insecurities and felt like we had to kind of like get it all out and say everything that we had to say in that moment. And this time I think it just feels like, we just wanted to go in and make a record that reflected where we are right now and have a good time doing it.
We do something called 5 questions. 5 quick questions, 1-word answers you can both answer. Road or studio?
Studio.
Studio.
Lennon or McCartney?
Lennon.
McCartney.
When you hear a song, what usually hits you first? Lyrics, melody, or rhythm?
Melody.
Can I say sound
You can say sound.
or production?
Cool. If someone's never heard MGMT before, what song do they start with?
Fine, pretend.
Because I mentioned it like 3 times already.
Sure.
Yeah, you go down to, in 1 word, MGMT.
In 1 word.
In 1 word.
Man, I mean, that's I just probably say pizza. I just had a slice of pizza.
Okay, nice. That's not the most random one I've heard before, surprisingly.
This.
This. That's good.
It's very Belgian.
Yeah, that's good.